The ladies in red.
We are. We didn't even call.
I know, we didn't. We just knew. Okay, so today we're going to talk about easy ways to repurpose your content to give it new life. So coming up with new material repeatedly, it's exhausting. And sometimes, we have content that we create and it's so good that we're like, gosh, I hate for it to just be one and done. So that's exactly what repurpose content can achieve. So today what we're going to do is talk about the benefits of repurpose content and show you several ways you can reuse what you have to reach new audiences and get an SEO boost.
Yes.
And we love it when it does that. So
This is true.
let's go.
Good morning again, or whatever, afternoon, evening, whatever time I guess you're watching this. It's morning for us. All right, welcome to Marketing and a Mic. We are here to give you all kinds of digital marketing tips, trends, useful guides. We really just want to help your business and be a great resource for you. So this is something that Sarah is the queen of repurposing content. She's the queen of making content, but she can really repurpose it too. So I'm excited to talk about this. So repurposing content involves taking existing content that you already have, transforming it into different formats to reach different audiences and really different goals too.
It's great. So you may be asking yourself, what's the point? Why should I be repurposing content? Someone would be like, isn't that cheating? Like taking what you have and reusing it again? It is not. It's really what it's doing is you're reworking your existing content and it's something that's high quality and it's still relevant. And so you're just reformatting it and presenting it in a different way to reach more people. So it's not necessarily that you're being repetitive. It's just that you're using content you've already created and giving it new life and ensuring that it actually reaches everyone in your target audience based on how they want to receive content. Because if you think about it, some people like videos and some people like to read articles. So that's the concept behind it.
Yeah, everybody soaks in content in a different way. So this is a great way to make sure you're reaching a lot of different people. So not only are you expanding your reach, like we talked about, but golly, you are saving yourself so much time. I mean, you've already done all the work. You already know the content performed well with your audience. Now, we're not saying repurpose crappy content. We're talking about using good content. So instead of staring at that blank piece of paper and starting the creative process all over again, save yourself some time and just reshape the content that you've already worked. Or that's already worked well for you.
Yes. Yeah. So the other piece of it, besides reaching audiences and saving you some time is that it's going to give you a boost in your SEO. So when you have multiple pieces of content that's centered around like similar target keywords, search engine crawlers are going to recognize you as a source of authority. And it also improves your online visibility, which is another SEO factor. If you think about that, when you're creating multiple forms of content and you're, establishing a consistent online presence on multiple platforms, it's kind of showing that you are authentic and you're building your visibility.
That's exactly right. And people spend time in different places. Not everybody's on Facebook. Not everybody's reading blogs. So you're not just creating content for the heck of it. You're going to be putting out valuable resources, just using different forms of what you've already created. And that's a value to multiple number of users too, like we talked about. As we mentioned before, different words are hard. You're basically spreading out your content over different channels to reach different audience groups, aka more potential customers.
Yes. All right. So let's get right to it. How do you repurpose your content? So this is kind of the fun part. This is where your creativity is going to come into play. So whether your content is made up of mostly written pieces like blogs, or if it's mostly video, there are multiple ways that you can repurpose all your hard work.
Yes. So let's start off with number one. We're going to talk about how to repurpose your content, again, like Sarah said. And one of the best aspects and one of the best tools that you have is your blog. because it's already packed with tons of information. So you've
Yes.
likely already touched on several points within your blog, which gives you tons of material to work from. So let's
Yes.
talk about that. How are we going to work with that?
Right. Okay. So let's say you've got this great blog. One way to do it is to create a video from your blog. This is really one of the simplest ways to repurpose a blog and to convert it into a video. You want to pull one or two main points from your blog and turn it into sort of a visual guide. So you could use graphics to visually make your points, or an actual person to explain it or demonstrate your message. But you want to break it up into small points, small segments, and you can use them as reels, or you can use them as YouTube shorts, or you could create longer video posts to put on your YouTube channel. So number of ways. I mean, what I just said there, that could be 3 different types of repurposing: short video, long form, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, but the key is you don't want to go too long or too convoluted in your video.
Yeah. Think of little snippets, little pieces. You don't want to have to redo the whole thing. You're just taking bits and pieces from it. So you could also turn those points that you had in your blog into an infographic. It's just another visual way for people to really appreciate the content. It can give, highlights of the most important parts of the blog. You can place infographics within that same blog post, or you can even use it for social media. I love infographics. And there's a lot of different tools that help you create them a lot easier than they used to be.
You're absolutely right. And it kind of just gives you those data highlights or those key stats and just puts it in a really nice visual format.
Yeah,
so
really cool.
Another way. So a third way would be to create an ebook. So free and downloadable content is super popular right now. Everybody loves it. So consumers love it, and it also helps you because it's going to build on your credibility and knowledge as an industry expert. So it's also a great way to leave a positive impression on users who haven't quite committed to using your brand. So you can take one blog or similar blogs, and you can offer the ebook as sort of a more in-depth discussion about the content you created. And it's, giving potential users a little tidbit that they can use.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And a great place to put these ebooks is your website. So you can display them on your website in the form of a resources page, and that consumers can access and download by putting their name and email. We've all done that a million times. I know I have. And with an ebook, you not only provide a valuable information to that end user, you have their information so that you can use it for future contact points.
I love that. Yeah. Why not create some leads from it? So, okay, create a podcast episode. We do this and we love it. So if you've done all the work into creating a blog, consider turning that blog into a script that you can use for a podcast, because this is also another way to reach a new audience that maybe prefers audio versus video or reading articles. So it also can invite guests onto your podcast, or industry experts, or something that will help create more interest and more conversation, and even expand your reach even more by helping your guests reach their set of audiences.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing you can do with it is create Twitter threads. Now, a lot of people use these. I don't, but I know a lot of people who do. And Twitter threads, what are they? They're highly consumed content type, and one that sparks a whole bunch of retweets and conversation back and forth with people. So instead of thinking of new ideas, just pull some takeaways from your blog posts again and use them as Twitter threads. The easiest way to do this is to find any part of your blog that includes headers, bullet points, or step-by-step things, and then separate each point standalone within your thread. So you can just create multiple threads using those points.
Yes, I've seen this a lot on Twitter. It's really popular, and it's just a way of kind of just doing those bite-sized pieces, but then also showcasing at a point where it's going to ignite conversation and people responding. So it's actually a really easy way to do it. Something you should try if you have a Twitter audience. So I said, along with that, you could take your Twitter chat and put it into a LinkedIn post. This is another thing I've seen a lot lately. So again, if Twitter is sort of your platform and LinkedIn is also your platform, this is a great way to merge the two and repurpose content. So you use Twitter for your chat, maximize its potential by fine-tuning the conversation into a more storytelling angle, and then post it on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn has been using this sort of long-form content for posts, and because it doesn't have the character limitations like Twitter does. So
yeah, exactly.
and I've seen that a lot too. It's a lot of this like storytelling of like step by step what went down, sort of a thing.
Yeah,
Very
exactly.
interesting.
And it's not hard. I mean,
Yeah,
you
it's
can
not.
take that information and really, it's like anything posting on any type of platform. You take it into the LinkedIn post and you can just copy and paste it into the text box. So it's not all that difficult. Or another way to do it would be repurposing it into a carousel for those people that have more visual. A lot of people like to watch things and not read things. So you could give a more visual element to your story as well.
That's true. And I sort of recently we did a LinkedIn post that was a carousel. It had 4 different still images, graphic images, and it was sort of worked in a story format of like, here's the problem, the challenge, here was what we did, here's the results. So it's kind of a nice way to get like sort of the whole body of what happened from something. And that was sort of taking a case study and putting it into a social media post, which is another way to do the repurposing.
Yeah, and I loved it. I mean, it catches your eye. I see so many posts, and that one's particularly, I was like, oh, that was just so cool. So,
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Of course,
Go on our
bye,
page and
Sarah.
check it out. Yeah, check it out on our page to give yourself an idea. So, all right. So another way would be to design checklists from written content. What does that mean? So take your long form blog with all the hard hitting points that you've made, and then just put it into like a real simple checklist or a cheat sheet or a template. And this makes it simple for those readers to just digest something and just the hard hitting key points in a shorter outline format. And if you wanted to, like eBooks, you could actually make a downloadable, customized template that can be something that could be used. I mean, one thing that comes to mind is like a content calendar. So you could take something like that of like, here's what we talked about for like the month of blah, blah, blah. We talked about that in a blog, and then we could put it in a template, customize it, just that's just a quick idea that came to my noggin.
Yeah. But it's a great point, great information, great tip. All right. We also repurpose our content into newsletters, which is a great way. We're always talking about ways to touch your audience and get in front of your audience or find new audiences. So it's a great way to reach a new audience. And again, take it from your blog post, something that's already been created. Newsletters are a really great way to capture potential leads too and deliver useful content right into the user's inbox.
Yes, I think it's a great idea to try. LinkedIn, if you didn't know, also provides a option for businesses to create their own newsletter, and you can deliver content directly to all of your followers. So this is a great way to sort of make your blog travel across beyond like your website and reach even more people who may be interested in your content. So check that out if you are already doing a blog.
Yeah, I love that day. I got something. I'm like, all right, can you do this? And like 5 minutes later, Sarah created one for us.
It's like,
but it is awesome, and it catches people's attention, and not everybody's doing it. So, all right, another thing, create a webinar. You've likely posted a ton of valuable information within your industry. Information that could be well received if it's reformatted, just kind of like a topic rich webinar. Again, be a resource for people, offer them information. They're going to love you for it.
Well, you're exactly right, because people really do value kind of how-tos or demonstrations or something that gives them a good takeaway. And webinars are a great way to turn your content into like a visual slide presentation. So just consider scheduling a webinar where you can capture contact information, because participants would have to register for this webinar. And then these participants are going to get the benefit of learning new information, and you get the benefit of obtaining new potential customers.
Yeah, win-win.
Yeah.
All right. Now, this may seem obvious, but sometimes it's not. You could also take that blog post and create social media posts. So we've said it 2 or 3 times. Options are endless when it comes to social media posts. Take a Google review or create a visual testimonial also in the form of a social media post. So all of that stuff can be reused. You could pull out interesting quotes from your blog article or stats or anything to use as a social media post, because again, we're talking short form, little bites, little pieces. So use all the stuff you already have.
Yes. And so, you could maybe pull 4 main points from a blog article, repurpose it into a carousel. Carousels can be blasted on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook. So just a great way to try that. And you could even use the title of your blog and repurpose it into like a question or like a Q&A to ignite conversation or comments. So another idea, you could do a week-long series of posts from your blog. So post a new topic each day or a subject from each blog. And again, just use it on all of your social pages to ignite some conversation and still kind of delivering some good content.
Yeah, the Q&A format, I mean, that's a great way of getting conversations started or carrying them on from what you already have. So, all right, we have a lot of key takeaways, but there are many benefits for repurposing content if you didn't already get that.
Yeah.
All right, what can it do for you? Save time on content creation, expand your reach out beyond one channel, get more life out of content that's already performing really well, cater to the needs, this is so huge, to multiple audiences, creating more content on a consistent basis so you don't have to keep coming up with new stuff. And for a set fee, they'll help you promote your product or service to a large following.
Yes, that's just a way too that you can expand it. So the content that you choose to repurpose, this is the key takeaway. It has to be relevant. This is what they call that evergreen content, to where it can't be something too outdated or something that really doesn't matter anymore. Anything that isn't up to date should just be left on the cutting room floor. And it's also helpful to add a bit of new information to your existing content when you repurpose it. So this kind of gives it a little added value and makes it a little bit more original again.
Yeah, true. Well, overall, repurposing content can help you make the most of your existing content, reach new audiences with minimal effort. So experiment with these things, experiment with different formats and platforms, and find new ways to engage your audience and achieve your marketing goals. It can go a long, long way.
It can go a long, long way. So that's it for us today. I hope that gave you some really great ideas to keep your content fresh by repurposing it. As always, you can catch us everywhere. We are on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, at our YouTube page, Fusion One Marketing, and of course our podcast, Marketing and a Mic. And check us out anywhere where you like to enjoy your content.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
We're repurposed.
Yes.
All right. So join us again in a couple of weeks for a brand new show. And that's it. Bye.